It's like I'm dreaming in motion. I feel it all around me.
Bridge, what do you think about?
It's just really, we're in a trance and we cannot see, like that. And then it kind of switches, modulates a little bit. We go high, we go strong,
Okay, let's run it a couple of times.
All right.
Let's keep running it.
And I don't think you know me, don't think you understand me, so I'ma get right down to it. The way I do it, the way I make you feel about me. Don't think you understand who I be. Don't think you understand that you're standing here with me. But that's okay, let's clear our minds. For quite a time, think you came for my love. You come for love. You come just to show me all your love, so we can experience love. You came for my love. You come for love. You come just to show me all your love, so we can.
Okay, let's see.
What you want to do?
Can we work on the chorus?
Yeah,
for me?
because I don't remember it either.
Yeah, so just
Come for Love. Come for Love is the first track on the EP. It really originated from a conversation I had with a major graphics designer in Columbus by the name of Corey Faber. We went to lunch one day and we talked about my first set over at this shop called Kiflo. And it was actually my first set. It was actually my second individual set, but it was a major set, and a lot of people had come, and we didn't expect that because I didn't have a name or a sound out yet. And so I remember I just said to him, I feel like people just came for love. A lot of people came because they knew me, or they came because they knew somebody who knew me. But it wasn't necessarily because of the art that I was producing. And so he said, you should make a song on that. Come for Love, you should title the EP Come for Love or whatever. And so we laughed about it for a minute, and then when I got home, I actually thought about it, and the melody just kind of came to me. And that's where Come for Love actually comes from. It is meaning initially that when you first experienced me in this very pupil stage, I guess, if that's even a correct term, you're really coming just because there's some kind of relationship, whether it's a direct relationship or indirect, but you're not coming because, oh, that is T.Wong. You're coming because you want to experience T.Wong and see whether or not you want to fall in love with that sound and be with that sound. So that's where Come for Love really came from. That's what Come for Love is about. So really simple.
Just to show me all your love. Touch on my bed and my body, and she wrapped both her hands all around me. Baby girl, fill it up. Baby girl, fill it up now. Intrinsically touching. I love it when she touch on my bed and my body, and she wrapped both her hands all around me. Baby girl, fill it up. Baby girl, fill it up now. Intrinsically touching.
Intrinsically touching, or IT, which is also known as beard and body. When I first wrote this song, it was kind of a joke, because it was really just talking about somebody touching on your beard or your body. Because at the time I had a longer beard, but I keep the beard because I would look like a baby face, I guess. I don't know, weird probably. And so it was really talking about literally that affectionate touch from a woman to a man, and how she touches on his beard and on his body. And so I was just sitting at home, and it just came to me literally, and it just kind of kept flowing and kept flowing. And it was amazing because I was actually playing with chat, because at that set at Kiflig yet. We hadn't really created any music or anything like that, so we made that song. So when we got to the set, when we actually did that song out of the however many we did, it was probably the most accepted out of all the songs that we did. And you know, it turned into, well, how does a girl touch on your beard or your body, you know, for you to write that song, you know, that type of thing. And so on social media, I had did it again a couple other places, and I would get messages asking for that specific song. So Beard and Body is kind of like a hidden jewel or something, you know, because I just kind of thought it was. So it ended up being kind of one of our favorite pieces to do and to hear, actually. So that's Beard and Body.
My name is Ariel Pitts. I am here to support T.Wong in completing his EP project. Yes, I do help him with his website and making sure that he establishes a web presence in a medium that he owns. I think he's extremely talented. Knowing him personally, I know that the lyrics are inspired by his own personal feelings and his dreams, and to see that coming into fruition is just inspiring. So it's an inspiring project.
So I seen you in my dreams last night. Before I opened up my eyes, didn't want to start the day. Just let me lay up in your presence, girl. Let me be inside your world before I lose myself in humanity.
Soul actually is about relationships in general, and that one actually was inspired by my current relationship, and you'll hear it in the lyrics, and it's just about finally finding an individual that you really click with, and not click with, like, not even on an intellectual level, but on that level where it's just like you cannot imagine life without that individual, no matter how irritated you get. And I get irritated. No matter how frustrated you get with a situation or anything like that, you really you can't picture it without it. And so soul literally is that, having that, I guess people call it your soulmate. I don't, you know, you can take it that deep if you want to, but that's kind of what it is. Just kind of feeling somebody that deep. And I don't necessarily believe that it necessarily has to be from, you know, husband and wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the case is, or your relationship. But it can be from a spiritual relationship. It can be even a dear friendship. When you have that connection, when you have that certain level of compassion for each other, and you just can't imagine life without the other, I think that's what that song really speaks to. And so it by far is one of my, to me, most heartfelt songs that I've actually written and recorded to date. And it is by far one of my favorite songs to sing.
I woke up in a low haze. I could feel it up my blades, but I got up anyway and figured I'd go all the way. I felt a heaviness in my chest, suffocation tried its best, but I breathe, but I breathe. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. Still and new, yeah. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. It's the morning after, and I still have you. I'm walking in a slow day.
So for morning after actually, generally when I first started writing music, I didn't really know I could write, and so I just kind of wrote what I felt, but never necessarily from a direct situation. And so for morning after, it's actually my first piece that I wrote that was a direct connection to me. Something very disheartening, very sad had happened to me literally the night before, and I just could not get over it. And so I figured I would try my hand at writing. You know, you always hear people who either write poetry or use a journal. That's how they release their emotions and what have you, and I never had tried that. And so I wouldn't necessarily say that it released any emotion or made me feel better, but it captured the moment. And so when I sing that song, sometimes it's hard to detach myself from that moment in time, but it's also very empowering because it lets me know that I actually made it. It reminds me that I made it through that time. And so Morning After is a song that I actually do listen to quite often. It's one of my favorites just to listen to. And it's just that, it's the morning after, you know, you'll be all right. You know, you'll move on, whether you're with somebody or not with somebody, or you have what you wanted or you don't. It'll be the morning after, and if that's the case, then you'll be all right. Cool.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Reality can be hard, make your heart feel so hard. Sometimes gravity can bring you down to your knees. But then there's something a counterculture hotter, can turn your sleeping dreams into your reality. I'm gonna feel the stars in my pocket tonight. I'm gonna wear the sun round my chain, alright. I'm gonna let the clouds be my beamers as I go and beamer and walk into divided raging seas. It's like I'm dreaming in motion. I feel it all around me, yeah. I feel I'm in the sky now.
Dreaming in motion.
I see it all around me.
Dreaming in motion. It makes me smile because pretty much that's what I'm doing right now. No matter how far I get in music, just this moment in time, I always just marinate in it. Just to have the ability to finalize or have some finality in my vocals and my music ability, from writing to arranging it, and whatever the case is, it's literally dreaming in motion. And so dreaming in motion essentially is about anyone who has any ability, artistic or intellectual or like carpentry, you know, that's artistic too. So whatever gift that you may have that you kind of sit on, or that we sit on in order to either, you know, make ends meet, or because we don't feel like it'll be accepted, or whatever the case is, it's really about kind of pushing out and dreaming in motion, and not just daydreaming. You know, I always hear about daydreaming, but actually taking your dream, your passion, whatever it is, and putting it in action. And so the first line is, reality can be hard and make your heart feel so hard. And that's, for me, that was when you get so caught up in the mundane reality of trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that kind of stuff. You know, you get hard. You know, you don't really get to experience life anymore. And so you'll see that the song really it evolves from that moment, from being hard to feeling like you're walking in outer space. So Dreaming in Motion it makes me smile. I'm happy that I was able to write that song. Before I hit the stage, a lot of nerves, a lot of concerns that I'll do something crazy or sound crazy or forget the words, and I forget the words a lot. So I change words a lot on stage. You know, so I think there's an empowerment when I get there. After the first note for me is always shaky, just because the nerves are still there. But once once I hit it, whether it's soft or boisterous, after that first note, it's almost, I told one of the musicians the other day, it's almost surreal because you are in your own place.
My name is Mark Abrams. So we specialize in recording, instruction, and artist development. We've been in this facility for 2 years, and the company's been around for 6. Stefan's incredibly talented, and he's got a great group of guys with him too, so it's just it's a great project. This is Vaughn Music Studios.
And so how were you introduced to music?
My mother.
She sing?
She sings and plays about 4 instruments.
Sonia Thomas. Oh yeah, I am T.Wong's mother. Yeah, you can say that I taught him everything he knows. Yes. Yeah, we all sing or play some sort of instrument, so he definitely came from a musical family in all areas. Acting, you know, artistic-wise, musically, instrumentally. So yeah, he definitely came from that sort of family. I think he's been on stage for quite some time. He did a little theater or drama when he was in, what, high school, middle school? So, but he really just started performing solo within the last year. That was great because the last time he actually performed with me, he was probably about 5. So that was wonderful that we actually got to do something together.
So my family in music, a lot of people, you know, say that their family is in music or has some kind of ties. So I don't want to sound like that cliche. But my mother, she actually really can sing. And when I was younger, she held several gospel concerts, and at one I sang on one. And so I actually have old footage of me at, like, I don't know, again, between 5 and 8, with all black turtleneck. She always had me in a turtleneck, and a black ponytail. She always had me in a ponytail. And so I was petrified. But I sang with her a little bit. She kind of stole the show. I don't think she really wanted me to sing with her. I think that was kind of for publicity's sake. But she let me up there and let me kind of croak out a few words. And it was a good time. But she plays the flute, the piano, the bass guitar, and the keyboard. And so she really is amazing. And she always taught me in life to think outside the box. And she never wanted me to be boxed into any particular culture or sound or anything. And, you know, she never swayed me towards music or anything like that. But in that, I was able to get involved with, you know, contemporary and rock and country, and, you know, I learned about the Bette Midlers and the Julie Garlands and the Frank Sinatras, and that was a major influence on my sound. Just listening to them and their execution and their thoroughness and their flawlessness to an extent. And so I don't think, I'm for sure that without her influence, I would not even have the sound that I have today. And we always talk about how I stole her voice because when I was born, she dropped several octaves. So it's just bizarre. So now when she sings songs that she used to sing, she has to change the keys and stuff, and it just becomes crazy. And so actually now some songs I can hit that she can't.
So we can experience
My name is Prince Williams.
I'm Obi Bayard.
When he told me he was recording, I just wanted to be present.
Yeah, I'm here to support. I'm also his stylist, so I'm here to perfect the image and make sure he's together and doesn't have any wardrobe malfunctions. I've been styling for 4 years. It's called Bahati and Company. I'm the founder and the CEO.
So the instrumentalists that play with me, they're all phenomenal. I actually just got off the phone with one before I came in here. They all do their own thing. They all are part of something else or are creating something else. I believe that they truly brought this to life beyond any lyric that I could write. And I say that because I didn't feel that any of them came just because of monetary compensation or for namesake. They came because they either believed in what they were doing or believed in what I was doing. And so I think that that's really evoked in the music. And so starting with Jeff Bass. Jeff Bass, he just cracks me up. He's in his own world. He plays the upright electric, and I think he plays the flute. And he kind of just zones. He does what feels good, and it's just a wonderful sound and a wonderful vibe that he gives when he's in the studio and when he's on stage. You know, he's just him. He's just him, and he's alive and he's alert. And so I love that about Jay Bass. I call him Jay Bass. So really appreciate working with Jay.
My name's Jeff Bass. We're here at Vaughn Studios today to record for Stefan's upcoming EP. I play the bass, bass guitar, and upright bass. I met him earlier this year through Brandon Chapman, the guitar player. Brandon and I have been playing various gigs here and there together, and he kind of just called me in to do this project, and
okay.
we kind of met before a show that we had down at Keifel, and we kind of just hit it off then. So I love the music. It's really soulful, definitely extremely original. I really like artists who are you know, they want to do their own original material and kind of do their own thing, and it all music really speaks to me, but especially with R&B and soul, and that last one we did, real like heavy rock influence. I really like those styles, so.
Jonathan Baker actually is he's a keyboard player or a piano player or keys in general. He's just fantastic. I met Jonathan because I was at a set and he was playing for another artist who's awesome, and soul. I had made soul like 2 nights before we had went there or something like that, and so at the end of the set I went ahead and just kind of said, you know, here's a new piece that I don't really know how it's going to be, but I'm just going to throw it out there. And as I began to sing, JB got on the keys and he ate the song like he wrote the song. And so from that moment, I was like, I was sure that if I ever had the opportunity to record or do anything else, that I would contact him at least for that one piece. And JB is just a very humble soul. You wouldn't know the great things that he's done unless somebody else has told you, because that's just not his style. And so Jonathan Baker, look out for him. He has his own EP. He has his own projects. Very, very awesome voice, but JV he's great, and I think that comes off on the clips and on the videos, and so I hope you enjoy him as much as I have thoroughly. Definitely a great friend, great relationship came out of meeting him. So
I'm J-Day with J-Day Photography, and I'm basically here to document Stefan's event here, or his band or whatnot. he was like in the OWL program with my younger brother, so like indirectly for the past, like, I don't know, 12, 13 years, something crazy like that, but we just started working together last year. It's needed. It's very grown up, but not in a bad way. But I like it. I like it.
Cedric Easton, we actually, now this is bizarre because Ced is well-traveled, well-known percussionist, and very, very intense about his craft. But Ced, I knew Ced before he got into Ced. We were actually about 4 or 5 when we first met because his family played instrumentation for my mother when she was doing gospel concerts. And so we used to be running around churches acting a fool with his other 2 brothers, and just all over the place. So it was amazing because after that time period, we got separated and just life. And so Chap called Ced up one day and said, I didn't know what Ced was going to say because Ced's intense, and so he kind of agreed to to come out, and when he came, he brought a force with him. I always call him my creative director because any lyric that I bust out, he's always going in for the gusto. What does it mean, and how does it feel, and what emotion were you evoking at the time, and what emotion do you plan to, and that, he colors it. He definitely colors it, and so he became more than just a percussionist. He definitely brought life to lyrics that I thought already had life. So Ced he's just phenomenal, and it's great to reunite, and it's just crazy to reunite in this capacity back to music where we first met. We just talked about it the other day. It's really interesting to have come back full circle, literally full circle, from his family and my family to me and him. So for that reason, I kind of hope we go a long ways.
Let's drink water.
5K with them, every Willis and God
Gallons. So we do it straight gallons.
Straight gallons, that's what we do.
Hi.
This is 20 ounces is good.
Hi, my name is Cedric Easton. Honestly, I'm here because of Stefan Fanning. I've been knowing him since I was 6 or something like that. So he told me he was doing a project, and I told him I was there as much as I could be. I love the dude, man. Yeah. My parents and his parents actually had a singing group together, a gospel singing group back in the day. So, we were playing under the church pews and probably getting a lot of whoopings together. So, yeah, I love the dude.
I think you came from under, you come to you come just to show me how you love, so we can experience it.
One more time. Talk.
Brandon Chapman. I heard Brandon Chapman as he was playing with one of the groups that he actually works closely with. Didn't know him at all, and I remember going up to him and just telling him how great I thought he was, and then went on about my business. And then I saw him again on his own at an event doing his own thing, plays the lead guitar, and I believe I told him either there or at another event that I wanted to work with him. I hadn't done any music yet. It was just like a dream, and so he didn't play me off or anything. He said, okay, I'm sure he gets that a lot. And so one day I had the opportunity to actually call him because I had something to do. You know, my very first engagement over at the Zanzibar. And he came in and he did it just like I thought he would. And, you know, I didn't know if that was it or if it was over. And then I had the opportunity to do another event. And I had an opportunity to call him, and he came again. And after that, I kind of went under Brandon's wing because he's definitely more well-versed in the music game. And so, you know, we kind of talked a little bit about the sound, about what could be and what should happen or what could happen. And from there, me and Brandon kind of worked side by side to kind of create what is Dreamin' in Motion or what is T.Wong at this point. And so he brings that crazy acoustic sound that I think is very hard to capture, no matter the genre. And that's what really makes me enjoy working with him is no matter what genre I want to highlight in the music, he's there, either before me or with me. And he has no problem telling me that it sounds ridiculous too, so that goes with all the fellas. So Brandon started from literally a complete stranger to I would consider one of my greatest friends and a strong forerunner for this project. And I'm very grateful to Brandon for having faith in me and pushing and pulling the team together the way that he has, from engineers to studios to the instrumentalists that we're working with today. So that's Chap.
My name's Brandon Chapman. I'm the MD for the Stefan EP. And when I first met Stefan, we were at Miss Ina's, and I was getting my barbecue jerk chicken on. And he was like, hey man, I really would like to work with you. And I said, yeah man, that sounds cool, that sounds cool, that sounds fun. And I got his number, and then, you know, we linked up and did a couple gigs together, and I was like, all right man, well this can really go somewhere. So then we started writing together and everything like that, and it just kind of evolved into this, and it was a beautiful surprise. It's amazing. I've been doing music for the past 12 years now, professionally. So it's been quite the journey, highs and lows, good times and bad. But you know, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for everything that I've had.
So my music is very simple. I just want it to be a mirror. I want it to be a mirror that people can reflect from. So I don't really tell stories necessarily, but I give the framework for the story. So you won't hear too much about direct things, but you'll hear about emotions and about the roundabout. And that's so that the listener or the spectator can impart their own life journey into that moment, or they can feel their own moment in that music, rather than me forcing them into a certain section. So that's how I want my music to be perceived.